Hello, and welcome to episode 75 of Things I've Learned from Barry Harris. And today I thought we would take a look at something that Coleman Hawkins played that I thought we could all get a lot of enjoyment out of. It's a basic line on a major. So in this case it would be G major. And he played something like... So if we were going to take that apart, we would say he went up the major arpeggio, but he started with the first note, hit the first note of the arpeggio, played a half step below, back up. Then he went up a scale note. Then he did the same thing for the third. So third, half step below the third, back to the third, then up a scale note. Did the same thing for the fifth. Then he went up to the tonic right from there. Then back to the fifth. So the phrase is... So it's a beautiful phrase that he plays on a major. But I think there's a lot that we can learn from just that one little phrase. And that we could break it apart into smaller things. So this is kind of the way that my mind works around it. It's not necessarily the right way, but this is how I really work on music for myself. Is I'll take that phrase, and like if we're playing a song like How High the Moon or something that's in G or Out of Nowhere or anything else that's in the key of G, I don't want to just duplicate that phrase because that's Coleman Hawkins' phrase. And he might have gotten it from somebody else, but the source that I got it from was from Coleman Hawkins. But the thing that I like to do with it is I'll say, okay, well, let's take a look at what he did. Let's just do that much. So that means if we're going up three notes, we start on a note, play a half step below it, then go back up. So I might do that up the scale. And the same thing down. Let's see what it sounds like down. Really pretty. The next one, let's do the full triad. That's a nice one. So let's do the next one. So that's just play the first note of the triad, half step below, then a scale note, then the next note of the triad, half step below it, back to it, then another scale note up, and then the last note of the triad. So G major triad. Now we'll do it on the second degree of the scale, the same thing. There's our triad, so we'll say, that's a nice phrase. So now I might be thinking to myself, if we're playing, let's say, something in major, I might say, oh wait. If I was playing How High the Moon or something like that. But then I might also say, this one, when we get to A minor, I might use the second one, which is the next one. Let's do the one from the third, from the fourth, from the fifth, sixth, seventh, and then back to the tonic. So that's a nice phrase. Let's see. Beautiful phrase. But now he finishes out, he says, so the last three ends on the next one. So that's G major. So, sorry, G major. So the next one will be A minor, which is beautiful. Now he does it for B minor. Next he does it for C major. Next one starting on the fifth. Next one starting on the sixth. Next one starting on the seventh. Next one starting on the root again. These are all beautiful things that you can practice on the scale. So many beautiful things. So even though transcribing a Coleman Hawkins solo is wonderful to hear all those sounds on your instrument, what I like to do is even take one little thing and then see if I can utilize it, see if I can use it. So for instance, now we got a few different things that we could do. We could just do thirds, which is really pretty. And you throw it in with something else, or let's see. So, or you can use it from the point of view of the minor. Let's see. I mean, so one little excerpt or little phrase of it leads to something else. So let's create something. Let's say, that's nice. So what would the next one be? I don't even know if I can do it. Let's see. That's a nice phrase. I just went up a chord, and then I came down. That's a nice phrase. 1, 2, so you go. Man. So that's what I like to do, since I'm not particularly good at transcribing. But what I like to do is, like I said, take some of these little ideas and try to use it on every degree of the scale. Really nice. And let's see if we're doing something in, what if we did it in minor? That's beautiful. So if we're playing How High the Moon, that's a nice one. So it. Wow. So I guess the point of this is to show you that don't be satisfied with just taking somebody's phrase and then saying, okay, I'm going to use it here on this spot. Every time there's a major, I'm going to use it. I might never use it where it's a major. I might only use it on a minor, maybe. Just to, not that I'm going to disguise it as being Coleman Hawkins' phrase, but it, in a sense, it's 100% influenced by Coleman Hawkins, but it's a creation using his brain and how his brain worked that I tried to take and copy without copying his phrase, which is actually, I think, a nice way to look at it. Because then if I come up with a phrase, it's still, I feel like it's 100% influenced by Coleman Hawkins, but it's still my phrase. And I think everybody can do that too with their own, with whatever they come up with, whoever they're transcribing. Same idea. It doesn't matter what kind of music you're into, who you're transcribing. I think transcribing something note for note is great, but that's like the first step at using language. So for instance, if we're talking about how we all learn language, we just repeat what everybody else is saying around us until we start to figure it out. But then we have to put our own thoughts together. We don't just keep repeating everybody else's thoughts. So first step, if you want to transcribe, totally fine. Second step, though, would be, I would say, break it down into smaller things and then try to do it on different degrees of the scale to see what kind of musical ideas you can come up with using Coleman Hawkins, what Coleman Hawkins, who is obviously a genius, has already come up with. So just that little major phrase, we've come up with all sorts of things for it, which I think is really what moving the music forward should be about. is not saying, well, I'm not going to play something like Coleman Hawkins, or I'm going to play this Coleman Hawkins phrase, but it's, let me see what I can do with his idea, and then let me see if I can expound on it. And I'm not pretentious enough to think like I'm going to make it better. I mean, who's going to make a beautiful phrase better than Coleman Hawkins? But you can make it so that at least it's your own. So anyway, that's today's little lesson on transcribing with a purpose. So until next time, thanks.